Proverbs chapter 25. Beasts not of false gift. Beasts. Proverbs chapter 25. Boast not of false gifts. Give food and drink to thine enemy. These are also the Proverbs of Solomon, which the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah, copied out. So this is our third section of Proverbs. And this is a section that apparently these ones were compiled in the days of Hezekiah. Hezekiah lived around 700. So we're talking about 250 years after Solomon, at least. But they compile them together. Here we go. Verse 2. It is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but the honor of kings is to search out a matter. The heaven for height, and the earth for depth, and the heart of kings is unsearchable. Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Put not forth thyself in the presence of the king, and stand not in the place of great men. For better it is that it be said unto thee, Come up hither, than that thou shouldest be put lower in the presence of the prince, whom thine eyes have seen. Pause a moment here. This is great advice. First, I like that. Take away the dross, and there shall come forth a vessel for the fire. And when you're refining silver, you heat it up, and the dross floats to the top. That's the impurities, and you scrape them off, and you get the pure silver. So you take away the dross, take out the impurities, the bad stuff, and you get a dish for dinner, a dish for serving food. Take away the wicked, and you have a righteous king. Take away the influence of iniquity, and you'll have a righteous kingdom. But put not forth thyself in the presence of the king. Don't assume your position. Always be humble enough to assume that you are lower than you really are, and let those who are of a higher authority. If you're going into court, don't try and stand next to the king, or don't try to sit next to the king. Take your seat in the lower seats, and let the king tell you that you are sitting too low and bring you up. There's very little that is more embarrassing than to sit in a higher station and then be told that no, you're down. And this applies to all kinds of things in life. Not just you. This isn't just talking about kings and their courts. So have the humility and let those of higher authority raise you up. Verse 8. Go not forth hastily to strive, lest thou know not what to do in the end thereof, when thy neighbor hath put thee to shame. Debate thy cause with thy neighbor himself, and discover not a secret to another, lest he that heareth it put thee to shame, and thine infamy turn not away. A word fitly spoken is like apples of gold in pictures of silver. As an earring of gold, and an ornament of fine gold, so is a wise reprover upon an obedient ear. Do not be too quick to start a fight, because you may not win. And you want to make sure that you know what you're doing before you get involved. And all of the debate thy cause with thy neighbor. Don't gossip with other people. Talk to him about it, because the gossip can get around, and it's not going to be good for you. But a word fitly spoken is as good as jewelry. Anyway, I just like some of these sayings. They're fun. But let us continue here. Verse 13. As the cold of snow in the time of harvest, so is a faithful messenger to them that send him, for he refresheth the soul of his masters. Whoso boasteth himself of a false gift is like clouds and wind without rain. By long forbearing is a prince persuaded, and a soft tongue breaketh the bone. Hast thou found honey? Eat so much as is sufficient for thee, lest thou be filled therewith and vomit it. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he be weary of thee, and so hate thee. Okay, that one reminds me of Benjamin Franklin's statement that guests are like fish. After 3 days, they both stink. Withdraw thy foot from thy neighbor's house, lest he hate thee. So don't stay too long. Don't stay beyond the time that you're welcome. Anyways, verse 18. A man that beareth false witness against his neighbor is a maul, and a sword, and a sharp arrow. Confidence in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. As he that taketh away a garment in cold weather, and as vinegar upon nitre, so is he that singeth songs to an heavy heart. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread to eat, and if he be thirsty, give him water to drink. For thou shalt heap coals of fire upon his head, and the Lord shall reward thee. The north wind driveth away rain, so doth an angry countenance a backbiting tongue. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman and in a wide house. As cold waters to a thirsty soul, so is good news from a far country. A righteous man falling down before the wicked is as a troubled fountain and a corrupt spring. It is not good to eat much honey. So for men to search their own glory is not glory. He that hath no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls. Okay, just a basic comment is the first section of Proverbs was largely advice. It was Solomon writing to his son saying, this is how you should live. The next section, being chapters 10 through 24, largely were these short snippets, short sayings of simple wisdom. And they were given in a pair. The wise is this, but the fool is this. The lazy is this, but the diligent is this. You give a comparison statement. Now, near the end of that section, we got also more advice. But now we're getting to this. This is, again, short statements of simple wisdom. But instead of being a comparison, instead of saying, well, wisdom, wise men are like this and fools are like this, let's say, if you do this, this is a action and consequence statement. You do this, and this is the result. I like that was a great one here. If thine enemy be hungry, give him bread, and if he be thirsty, give him water. And in so doing, you will heap coals of fire upon his head. So, action, result. And there's a lot of this is. There are some metaphors, this is as good as this, but it's largely a action consequence type of proverb here. It's a different setup, and I like it. I used to think I like these proverbs a little bit better, but I'm going to leave it here. There's a lot of good stuff in there, and I will see you in the next one.